This is One Sentence News, a daily podcast featuring 3 news stories with a sentence-long summary and 1 sentence of context apiece. I'm Colin Wright. It's Friday, October 29th, 2021. Let's talk about the news. From the Associated Press, France fines British boats as fishing dispute escalates. French authorities have fined 2 British fishing boats and kept a third overnight in the latest tit-for-tat move between the UK and France related to post-Brexit fishing rights. Fishing rights in the channel between the UK and France have always been a contested issue, and Britain's stern enforcement of what they say are their territorial fishing rights in the aftermath of the Brexit agreement with the EU has France claiming otherwise and threatening to retaliate with measures that may include a reduction in energy sent to the UK if the British don't start issuing a suitable number of fishing licenses by November 2nd. The British Prime Minister has responded to that ultimatum by saying, in essence, France is threatening disproportionate consequences for the UK not agreeing to go beyond the tenets of an agreement they both signed. From Reuters, Taliban government offers Afghans wheat for work as money dwindles. In the aftermath of the U.S. and its allies pulling out of the area a few months ago, the Taliban, which rapidly reconquered the country as these forces left, has had trouble securing enough money to pay government workers. This dearth of financial resources is likely to remain for the foreseeable future until and unless the Taliban agree to stringent obligations the United Nations is keen to see them adopt, which is unlikely. In the meantime, internationally held funds, adding up to about $9 billion, which technically belong to the Afghan government, have been frozen, and now the Taliban are limiting bank withdrawals in an attempt to stabilize the money supply, and are paying laborers in wheat donated to them by neighboring countries to reinforce infrastructure in the lead-up to the country's flood-heavy rainy season. And from Axios, Facebook changes corporate name to Meta. At the company's annual Connect AR and VR event, Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that the corporation he leads will from this point forward be known as Meta, and Facebook will be just one entity within that larger brand. There's a lot of speculation about why Zuckerberg is making this move and why now, ranging from the desire to pull a Google, which made its search company, Google, a subordinate entity under the umbrella brand Alphabet back in 2015 for the organizational and restructuring benefits that might afford him, to a desire to demote a brand name that's becoming increasingly toxic in the press and public perception, and replace it with something thus far untainted. His explanation is that Meta better represents the company's larger meta-scale ambitions to build a metaverse, a virtual platform through which people will connect with each other and with essentially every other possible type of content, a bit like the fictional Oasis metaverse featured in the book and film Ready Player One. If you're finding some value in One Sentence News, consider leaving a quick review wherever you get your podcasts and or sharing the show with a friend. You can find out more about this show or subscribe to the email version at onesentencenews.com, and you can support this and other related projects like the Let's Know Things and Brain Lenses podcasts at understandery.com.